You're looking at a very, very old battery, and I'm going to tell you some of the simplest, cheapest things there are can actually save you a lot of money on replacing batteries for cars. Especially if you're going to store some batteries around for a long time. I know there's solar chargers with solar panels, and they keep the exact voltage. This battery is actually the cheapest battery from AutoZone. I bought it in the 1990s. It's in my Jeep, and it's still good. And there's a secret why it's still good. Not only do I just keep it topped up with distilled water, but I'll tell you something else I do. I keep a little solar panel. It's small. You can see it's only like a few inches wide by maybe, it looks like 11.5 inches long. And it just plugs right into the cigarette lighter right here. So that's all you have to do. It plugs into the cigarette lighter. That is enough. It doesn't quite charge it. Like if you have a dead battery, this ain't going to do it. But it's enough to keep it from screwing up. And actually the military does a lot of this stuff too. They'll have these little solar chargers on their Humvees and stuff. So if you have batteries around as backup with inverters for emergency power, this is the way to go. You don't need a solar charge controller with this because it's such a lightweight charger. I'll show you another example of what I have here. I have this little solar panel, small one. I have a couple of ones that are a little bit bigger, but this is small. It's only like I forgot what this costs, probably 15 bucks or something. It's 12 inches by looks like 4 inches. That's all it is. And I have it sit, this puts out such a little bit of charge that you don't need to have a charge controller with it or anything. And I have it on a battery, and if need be, there's the battery. Just like what I have on a Jeep, if I'm storing this battery a long time, and if I put the voltage meter on it, you'll notice that well, I had to take the camera off a second because when I put the voltage meter on it, for instance, you notice it's the battery voltage is showing 12.913 volts. Full charge battery is 12.7, 12.65. So if you actually take this meter off of this, and it'll drop down a little bit. So, it's actually putting a charge into it right now. Even that little solar panel, but it's so weak that it's good enough that it's so weak you don't need to use a charge controller with it. And that's what my point is saying, because that battery in my Jeep is from the 1990s and it's 2013. So that damn battery is like well over 15 years old, and it's still good. And it was the cheapest battery from AutoZone, period. Cheapest one going. So tell me these damn things don't work. It would have never lasted that long. And every time I go to start the thing up, it's got a full charge in it. So just like this, it's putting out just a little bit more. The cloud went by, so it's 12.9 volts. But sometimes it gets 13, 12.7. So just like when you have a running car and you have an alternator, it goes up to almost 14 volts. This is putting like a little bit of a charge into it, even from that tiny solar panel. If you have a situation where you need to charge the battery up, you need a little bit bigger panel like this and a charge controller. But like the beauty of that other thing I was showing is if you just have it on the battery and you have a car stored someplace, they'll use those type of things in the military. They don't even use the charge controllers. They'll use sometimes they'll use it's a special electronic device that desulfates the plates. But all you need is if your vehicle's sitting someplace, you're storing a battery, you don't even need to have something this good where you have a bigger, this is not a big panel, but this is enough to actually charge a battery up, and a charge controller. You could just get something simple like that puts out 1 watt, because nobody's going to test something for like 15 years, but that battery in my Jeep has been in there 15 years, and it was the cheapest battery they sold at AutoZone. It was 6-month replacement guarantee, 1 year limited warranty, and typically you're lucky if you get 2 or 3 years out of something like that kind of quality battery, but it's in there 15 years. And the one thing I did different was I used a little panel, solar panel, a 1 watt one, not as strong as this, and just kept it plugged into the cigarette lighter, that's enough to keep it from getting screwed up. So, and you know what they cost you? 10-15 bucks. So that's another super little tip. You don't even have to buy a charge controller in a bigger size. It's not a really big panel or a bigger size panel. You just buy like a 1.5 pot panel, plug it in your cigarette lighter, or use some alligator clips. If you're storing batteries, that's perfect. It's not going to overcharge them. Like I said, I got 15 years out of that battery in my Jeep, and it's still good. It's a freak and a half. I can't believe that.